Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 7 of Hustlers Horizon podcast. Episode 7.
Let's go, man.
They're going fast. Well, today we have a very special guest with us, Josue, a.k.a. Swaycutz.
Swaycutz in the house.
23 years old, and he has a story to tell us. Josue, how are you doing today?
Doing good, man. Appreciate y'all having me here, man.
Yeah,
Of
man.
course.
Thank
Well,
you for
we're glad
coming
to
out.
have you, man. And you were sharing some good news with us when you got here. We got to chat with you. You were doing the grand opening of your very own barbershop on the 14th of this month. How does that feel?
Feels pretty unreal. I'm pretty psyched. It still don't feel real because it's been happening fast, and I've been trying to keep up with everything. But
Yeah.
I'm
How
excited.
long has it taken you since you started?
Since I've been licensed,
Yeah.
since I got licensed October of last year, so it's been like a year and 5 months.
Oh man, so you're hitting it right.
It's
Sweet.
been crazy.
That's awesome, man.
Well, 23 years old, and you're doing something awesome, special, very special. So I want to talk to you, though, about you've been a barber. How long have you been in that industry, and how did that all get started? What made you want to be a barber?
So straight out of high school, I thought I wanted to be a welder, and being being in that industry, working for somebody, I knew that wasn't really for me. Didn't like that lifestyle, being on somebody else's time. Always, like, if I had an event or a family event, I had to ask off or something. So
Yeah.
I wanted a job or occupation that I could control or own my time and be at my time. And my coworkers would ask me, what's something that's missing in Wheeler that you could start up on your own? And there's no really like male barber there. So I was like, shoot, I could start cutting hair. And I just started from my parents' house, cutting the high schoolers for free. And then once I cut my little cousin up, I knew the very first cut, I was like, yeah, I can see myself going all in on this.
That's
That was
cool, man.
pretty
That's
cool.
pretty interesting. Did you have somebody growing up that kind of you got that from? Because like I know I've known you for a while since you were little, man. You were a little kid when I was going out with your brother and stuff to play. But I know he did hair too. Was he an inspiration to you?
I think it kind of I guess you could say planted a seed, but it didn't grow. I just knew that I was seeing it, and I liked how he brought his friends together and just the environment. Going to barbershops in junior high, I liked the environment, how barbers acted, and just the environment. I know it didn't feel like a job.
Yeah.
And I didn't know he didn't really get me into it.
Yeah.
There was somebody else that I got inspired from. I don't know if y'all familiar with Nipsey Hussle.
Oh yeah.
Nipsey Hussle, I don't know. I watched a documentary when I was in the pipeline of his upbringing and what he did, selling T-shirts from the back of his car trunk, and to leasing a building and starting his own clothing store, the Marathon. And I was like, man, I want to do something like that back in Wheeler. Something that's not very big, not a big city, but something I could start back at home.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
that's awesome. And I want to, I was had a question about, so now you have the barbershop going and that's about to open up. And so what was the whole thought? Again, I have to go back to, you're so young, 23 years old.
Yeah.
How does that feel? What are the emotions that were just running through your mind, even right now? How does that feel for you?
It feels like it's a lot. It does feel like a lot. It feels overwhelming, but that's kind of how it is when you are just doing your own thing. It's going to feel like a lot. So I joined a mentorship group to help me with that because I am young. I don't know a lot. So I can leverage somebody else's experiences and knowledge so I don't have to go through and make the mistakes and not waste time, but I could make the same progress or even faster in half the time. And
Yeah.
that's what I needed is mentorship and somebody in the industry that's a freaking, he's the Elon Musk or the
Is
Steve
he?
Jobs of the
Yeah.
barber industry.
And is that an online thing, or you meet up somewhere? How does that work?
Yeah, so he has a YouTube channel giving it away free gyms. And from there, it goes to his online academy. And then he has an online academy and then a mentorship. And mentorship, he has a blueprint of how he did it.
Yeah.
And shows you the steps. He has video modules. And I was like, shoot, I learned so much just off of his free YouTube videos. And I was like, shoot, I wonder if he has a mentorship.
Yeah,
and then he had an online mentorship. And
That's pretty cool, man. So it seems like you're all in. You love what you're doing. You look happy.
Yeah.
So that's definitely good for
Most
sure.
definitely. I mean, before you got here, we sat down And I was like, all right, let's do some quick research. And so I looked at your Facebook and came across some videos. And there was one where you were mic'd up and you were doing a cut. It looked like you were in a gym. I don't know where you were, but you even mentioned in there, you said something about you have to get it right here mentally, right? Because or else this doesn't matter. And to have that mindset at such a young age, and now you're gonna prosper, man. Like you're opening your barbershop. I know it's gonna be successful. You have the right mindset behind it. You can tell, like you said, that you love what you do. And so what really struck that for you to start doing that and going out and kind of mentor? Because now you have a mentor, but you're mentoring others. What really was that like? That has to mean a lot to you to be able to do that.
Yeah, so growing up in a small town, country town, Wheeler, there's like less than 1,200 people, and we weren't exposed to entrepreneurship. We weren't exposed to, and I was like, I'm talking to young high schoolers that are doing barbering or trying to start into it, and I was like, dang, if I was exposed to this when I was in high school, like somebody actually teaching it, I was like, I know there'd be a lot more barbers. There would have been a barbershop in Pampa decades ago instead of going all the way to Amarillo. So I was like, now that it's barely happening, I was like, I want to just kind of be a trailblazer and shed more light on it and teach others. And that's how it grows, right? When you start something and you're teaching others, especially the youth, that's when you're starting a wave, kind of, you're starting an ocean, and everybody's just going to join that wave, and just you're going to lift the tide.
And that's a good way to think about that, because especially at that age, and even when you were in high school, and then after, during high school, you're saying you were cutting hair still. You were just doing it for free. To be able to stay focused, though, I imagine it can be hard, right? Yeah. Because there's people your age, there's people all ages, right? But especially your age and younger that have that fear of missing out. Not a lot of 23-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds are thinking about a business, right? They're not thinking about entrepreneurship. They're thinking about, I'm going to party it up. I'm going to stay up late. I'm going to go out all the time and this and this and that. So how did you overcome that at such a young age to stay focused? What was something you did to really...
So going back to my why, right? Before you start anything, you have to, like what I said in that video, like it all starts here and mentally, because if you just start something just to start it and don't have a purpose, you'll easily fall out of it or fall out of love with it or not even keep going. So first thing is that why, and that's my why is like, I want to be able to, like I said, like start a wave or start something there. And it's bigger than me. I want to stamp something in Wheeler. Eventually, that's a big goal later on, is buy a commercial property there so I could stamp something there, that'll last generations and decades. So that's my big goal. And just like trying to be I'm a big follower of Christ. I like to share my faith. So I want to just share my gift that God blessed me with and help others find their purpose and their blessing through what God gifted them.
Yeah, and where did that come from, that purpose? Because that's going to be the name of the barbershop, right? And that's mostly because you're God and you're a good follower and things like that.
So purpose is being a barber. I would have a lot of conversations with young people in high school when I was cutting at my parents' house. And I was like, a lot of these young kids don't have guidance. They don't have a reason for what they're doing. And when I'm cutting in Pampa now, I talk to older people my age or people grown that have families, and they're still just going through the motions. Like, they're not living, they're just breathing.
Living day to day.
And it's like, man, like, why don't you have a goal? Why don't you have a reason to live? You know what I mean? And that's where I was like, I think they don't have a purpose, you know what I mean, for what you're doing. When you have a purpose, you can go hard, you know what I mean? You can stay till 10 o'clock at night or start early and work on off days and do the work that others aren't willing to do, because that's what it takes.
Yeah, man. You being so young, that's impressive for real.
Yeah,
because most people your age aren't doing that. And we admire you for that for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely admirable to hear.
That's crazy. But I kind of wanted to go back to that where he was talking about that video that you posted. What were you doing? I kind of know what you're doing, but kind of speak about it.
So then again, like, I'm trying to educate more, trying to shed more light on it, and the only way to shed more light on it is by teaching it, right? Teaching others. I know a lot of people want to start or want to get into it, but if they're not exposed to it and not educated, they're not going to know how to do it. They're just going to, try it and not go through with it. So I'm trying to just educate in my smaller towns, Wheeler. So I did that. There's only 2 people there, but in that class, I told them, I was like, look, I got a social media, right? That's how you reach more people. I got 1,500, and there's accounts that follow me that have a bigger following, right? So that's how I'm doing this class, and there's only 2 of y'all, right? But I was like, just watch, give it till the end of the month. I'm gonna be in a whole nother state doing this same class. And shoot, 2 weeks later, by the end of the month, I was with Forward Barber Supply in Murillo. We did a class at Wade Gordon, teaching in front of 40 plus students. And then from there, we got offered another class in Hobbs, New Mexico. So coming this month too. So it's cool to say that to them, and then them seeing it happen. And like, what the hell? Like, this dude actually is doing it.
Well, and I want to say it goes back to your faith. You know, you talk about that, and I'm glad that you brought that up. All right, because like that's who you are, and we love that. And so it goes back to your faith. You talk about, you were in that class. There's 2 people, right? And you still gave it your all. You still fed into them, right? And you spoke it into existence, right? You have faith. And you said, just watch at the end of this month. And then God opened that door sooner than you thought, right? Yeah. And it's just amazing. And it goes back to what I'm hearing from you is, you know, your barbershop is going to be purpose, right? Everything you do has a purpose, right? You were made with the purpose. That's what it all goes back to. And to hear that you're planting those seeds, that you're feeding into the younger generation, or even the older too, to just follow their dreams. But like you said, there's a lot of people that are not exposed to that. But more importantly, you're not only exposing them to that barber industry and that life. I think what's more important, what I'm hearing, is you're exposing them to your faith. And that is going to take you a lot further than you ever know. And so I have to just applaud you on that. That's very impressive, man. At 23 years old, to hear that, man, the future is bright for you. Now, I want to talk about what has your family support through all of this meant to you?
Man, it's been nothing but support. Like, going into it, when I first started, they didn't know what it could do, because a lot of people aren't knowledgeable of what it is. Back then, they used to be, you know, if you say you're a barber, they're maybe like, well, what's your real job or something like that. But once you actually make a real business, when you treat it like a business, it's going to pay you like a business, and you can make a real career out of it. But when you treat it like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby, and nobody's going to take it serious. But that's when I'm trying to shed more light on it. And like, them seeing me buy a barbershop, and like just my own family members, they're like shocking. Like, it's like, dang, like he's really doing it. And it's like, I just want to thank them for supporting me and believing in me and just letting me do my thing. And just believing in me. The support from my family has been nothing but great.
And maybe later, man, whenever you become successful and get big, you'll be able to help your family, you know? I know in the Hispanic community, like, we're all close and stuff, but what would it mean for you to be able to do something for your mom, your parents, you know?
I think that's what pushes me even more, because I know what I can do with that. Owning a business, I can retire my parents, you know, just by doing that. And I was like, that pushes me even more, because I told my mom, when I was junior high, because I thought I was going to make it pro in soccer. And then I found out I couldn't do that. Well, I could, but like, it didn't happen. But God's, you know, there's probably a bigger reason why. So I told my mom I was going to buy her a house. And she'd always bring that up every time. She'd be like, remember you said you're going to buy me a house when you were going to make it? And I was like, I can't believe I can have the potential to buy her house through cutting hair. So I was like, if I can do that and document it and share it, I know it's just gonna inspire more people to want to do that.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Especially cutting hair. That's mind blowing.
Well, just to hear that, I can't wait. You know, whether it's a couple years or years down the road, we come back to watch this episode and hear him speaking of that, and then when it happens. So, you know, you heard it here on Hustlers Horizon podcast. SWaycutz is going to do big things for his family, man.
Big things, man.
So
I kind of had some another question. Like, besides cutting hair and things like that, what are some other hobbies that you like to do?
What's crazy is, like, I don't really have any other hobbies.
You don't go out,
dedicated,
drink, party?
Nah,
none of that?
Nah, like, when I focus, like, that mentorship group, like, it's just been when I was young, too. Like, when I say I'm going to do it, I write it down on my calendar at the end of the year, and I literally break it down, like, month by month, week by week, day by day. So I know, I was like, dang, I just put a really big goal at the end of the year, and I just broke it down and put the actions to do it. So it's like there's no way I can do it if I literally just don't take the action. So
Yeah.
that's what keeps me focused. I was like, dang, like I can't be. I mean, I like to do like hang out with friends or game a little bit here, but I was just like, bro, I gotta.
What do you be gaming at?
Usually I'm living in Amarillo in the apartment. I play the Xbox. I'm not really a big gamer, but that's really like my past 3 years has just been.
That's good, man.
Barbering, like,
you're focusing on that,
like,
so you're gonna be successful because it takes time, and you're not getting distractions from anywhere else, and that's really gonna help you for sure.
And I'm trying to get into hobbies. That's what I'm finding out now. Listening to other OGs or people that have been in the game, they're like, you gotta do something that'll keep you outside of it, like fishing. I'm trying to learn new things, so like fishing, golfing, something that'll like help me relax or get me out of that zone, so I can just charge myself up and give myself energy to keep going. Because it's gonna take a long time, but when you give yourself energy and give yourself recharge, I guess you could say, you can be
important.
consistent.
Yeah, it's important to realize, especially you're building a business, and of course it gets overwhelming. You want to keep yourself busy because you're just thinking of the next goal. But it is important to kind of take a step back, right? Take a step back because I feel number one, it's important to reset, but it's important to take a step back to see how much you've built and how far you've come, because a lot of people forget to do that. Yeah. And that's why we run into, I feel like I'm not doing enough, that's a hustler's mindset. But if you can take a step back and just be like, dang, like I've really come a long way. All right, reset and then get back to it.
Soak it in, man, and then just.
So you guys, and I want to mention Pedro. So you're from Wheeler.
Yeah,
so
I grew up with his older brother, or Miguel. He was good friends of mine, and I would just come over to their house and chill, play. He was a little kid running around the house, so trying to bother us and crap.
Well, see, and I only mention that because y'all are both from Wheeler, and you've known him since he was young. Yeah, to see him doing what he's doing now, I bet you it's pretty cool.
It's cool seeing that.
But you're also very successful yourself, and man, we talk about it a lot. You see what he's doing, especially with the podcast and everything else. So it's just crazy because you said Wheeler's small. You come out of a small town, and maybe you don't come from much, but you wanted better for yourself, and now you're remembering where you came from, and now you want to do everything to give back to your family.
Exactly,
right?
Back to the family, the town, like where you grew up. So that's kind of my goal too, and I see what he's doing. So I reached out. I was like, hey man, let's have you on, talk to you. I like what he's doing, man.
Most definitely.
The purpose. I mean, he always talks about God. Always trying to get back to the younger generation, and he's young, so he's actually doing it, man. It's inspiring to me, and I'm older, so
to set your mind to something and just do it is awesome, and you're a great example of that. And so I want to ask you. So you're opening up a barbershop, and where's it going to be opened up at again?
Pampa, Texas.
It'll be in Pampa. So you're going to open up that barbershop, and I know right now you're still living in the moment, and it's also new. But we were kind of conversating earlier. What is the big vision for Purpose Barbershop?
Shoot, so like I am like when I did buy it, I'm thinking 2 steps ahead. So I'm always like when I'm cutting hair, I'm like always thinking of like, okay, where do I go from here? So the big vision, what I had pictured, like I said, like I want to stamp something back in Wheeler. So with the profits I'm making from the barbershops, I'm gonna build something really. I eventually want to buy a commercial property in Wheeler. And kind of something similar to this, like a compound to where you'll have a little room to work on barbering or do something like that. Have some like a creative studio to where you can do podcasts, videography, photography. Hopefully a basketball court, indoor 24/7 access, and a weight room. Because I'm hearing it now from the kids that a lot of coaches don't let you get in there just to work because you want to get better, and that's where like if you have somebody limiting your potential, that's where you can have a drop off, right, and not continue. And I want to open up doors to the youth to where it's like, man, you can come in here and go all in. You know what I mean? Really take it to another level. So I want to. That's a big thing. I think that's the end goal for me is building that compound there in Wheeler.
That's awesome. There. You're always thinking of giving back. Yeah. I think that's why. I think that's what makes a successful person successful, right? Because some people can come into what you're doing and making it happen and thinking selfishly. Like, it's all about me. From the minute we started talking to you and asking you how you started, your first thing that you mentioned was shedding light on it, going to speak to the high schools. exposing these kids to that and exposing them to your faith as well. That's just, like I said, that we admire that, man. And so once you get that compound going, because we're going to speak it to an existence. I know it's going to happen for you. So when you open this barbershop, do you already have some barbers that are going to work there? How many chairs are you going to have? What's that going to look like for you?
This barbershop I have right now, we have 3 full-time right now, little by little. So like how it is a business, when you do add a barber, he just started it this past month, and working on getting him built up a little bit. Once he's kind of built up a little bit, I give him like a month and a half, 2 months max. But I'm already recruiting or looking at my next barber.
Mm-hmm.
We got 6 stations there. I know I'm aiming big. I like to aim big. So by the end of the year, I know it can happen. But like, I want to say 10 to 12 max in that barbershop. Mm-hmm. And hopefully 10 will be cool. But 12, I just want to push myself. I want to say big numbers. That way, like, I can still hit a big, like 10. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that'd be good.
That's awesome.
Sure.
So again, with starting your business and getting into entrepreneurship, there's always somebody, whether it's books that you read or podcasts that you listen to, there's always somebody that you really just you hone in on. You listen to what they do. They've been there, they've done that, and you just take notes from them. Who is that for you?
In the barber industry?
Mm-hmm.
In the barber industry, Chris Bosio, that's my mentor. Chris Bosio, Tomb 45. He's got the mentorship, 6-figure barber mentorship. He's all over like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And I take a little bit of game from everybody, not just the barber industry, but you can take a little bit of everything, music industry, Nipsey Hussle, other independent artists. When you're a small business or starting your own business, that's what independency is, independent artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you can see independent artists go almost like music label level, they know how to market themselves. They know how to build a brand, build a community. So I take a little bit of everything, Nipsey Hussle, artists, La Russell.
What about any books? You read any books?
I don't. I'm not a real big book guy. I'm trying to get into that, but I listen to podcasts.
It's basically a book.
Yeah. So like,
most definitely.
I'm trying to get into Atomic Habits.
Man, you need to read that one.
Atomic Habits.
I'm telling you, bro. You be reading at night and you'll be ready to go. You won't be able to sleep.
I think I might get into.
Do it, and then let me know after you read it. See how you feel.
Atomic Habits.
It'll change your mindset for sure. You're already doing all these things, and you're just gonna want to do more. And then figure out better ways to.
He's gonna read it and open up 10
barbershops. I'm gonna open 10. That'll be funny. For real, it makes you want to go crazy and just keep doing stuff.
Similar, I joined another mentorship to help me with that. It's kind of in the same industry. He's in the barber industry, but he focuses on balance, while still working hard. So like he's more with like setting balance and having a balance, but still accomplishing goals.
Yeah.
So like I said, action items and bankable items. Bankable items is stuff that'll give you energy throughout your day while still doing action items. So like I said, like if you put something at the end of the year, break it down day by day. I could do something early in the morning workout, listen to a gospel song or something that'll give me energy while still enjoying the present day while accomplishing my action items.
Yeah.
And that's what it's not based off of Atomic Habits, but that's what it is. It's just building habits. So like day by day, we're accomplishing 3 things. And if you accomplish 3 things in a day, you carry that throughout the week, you can probably accomplish 12 things.
12 things, yeah.
Do it in the end of the month, that's probably like 300 things.
Yeah. So with you, like, what does a day in the life of Josue look like? What time do you wake up? What's your routine kind of?
I'm trying to get a better routine.
Yeah.
I try to work out in the morning, early in the morning. And I try to, ever since I got into barbering, I'd wake up at like 9 a.m. I'd be like a last minute guy. So like I would, I guess just wake up, get ready, take a shower, eat breakfast.
Go to work.
Yeah, go to work. That's pretty much it. Just work. That's all I like lock in on is just work. Yeah. I forget to eat or drink water. I forget to pour it into myself.
I know you're on the way over. You're like, hey, I'm gonna stop and get some food real quick.
I forget because I want to accomplish so much.
Yeah,
got so much to do. But
I get it. Most definitely. It's you, like you said, you want to just see results. You want to keep going and keep building something, which is a good habit. And that's, you're ahead of the game already. I mean, you really are. You're thinking 2 steps ahead, like you said before. So no, that's just awesome. You're staying getting knowledge every day, educated, and you're feeding yourself, because that in a sense is going to feed your business. You're going to keep growing. And so I just, with asking that though, with, you have a certain mentor, and so you've heard so much advice and you've learned so many things. And this is, like I said, our favorite thing to do.
Yep.
On the podcast. I want to ask you, Josue, you're doing it, and congratulations on everything again. But what is some advice that you would give to somebody? And it doesn't even necessarily need to be who wants to be a barber. Just somebody, a young kid, because they're going to look at you. We're witnessing you do it right now at 23 years old. What is some advice you would give to the younger generation, or even someone a little older that feels like it's too late? What's that advice you'd give to them when it comes to starting a business?
So I'd say first things is like having your reason, your why. So you could say like a triangle. So like your why is that first step, because once you have your why, you have a reason to motivate yourself to work hard. Your why, your how you're going to do it, your what are you going to do your how, and then I think that's pretty much it. Your what, your why, what, and how. And your how is going to accomplish all that, because then you break it down. And I think those 3 things is what set it off for me. Is like I had a really big vision. Well, God put that in my heart, in my mind, a vision. I didn't know what. I know, like, when I would drive by in Wheeler, I always looked at this house. And like I said, God plants this vision in you, and you don't know what it's going to be, but He's talking to you and putting these things in your mind. And I would always drive past this house. I was like, I'm going to do something there one day. And I think what we're talking about right now, I was like, shoot, I want to buy a property. I want to stamp something there. And it's crazy to see it like slowly turning into that way. So I was like, I think that's what's changed the game for me. Your what, your why, what, and how.
Yeah.
Why
It's good to have a good goals too,
Yeah.
Figure out what you're trying to do and how to get there.
Yeah, and isn't it amazing though how you mentioned that He put that vision in you, right? That it's just hard to try to avoid it. And so you stayed the course, man. You listened and you still vision it. And like you said, you're like, I don't know how this is gonna happen, but you're trusting in Him and He's guiding you, man. I'm just excited, man. I know that Purpose Barbershop in Pampa coming soon, April 14th. Man.
Grand opening. What time is it gonna be at?
I think I'm gonna hit it in the morning, probably 11.
All day?
11, yeah, 11. I'm gonna have a Mexican band play there from 7 to 11
No
p.m.
way.
So it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna have a DJ there from 2 to 6.
Okay.
2 to 6, kind of
Food?
like
Any food?
food. Yeah, I'm gonna have a local food truck.
Man, we
Jenny's
might have to go
Burritos.
check it out.
I heard food. We're there.
Jenny's
That's pretty
Burritos.
cool.
They're the best.
Are they?
That's my go-to place.
That's cool, man.
there.
But no, man, we just want to thank you. I admire you for everything you're doing. I mean, from that little kid I used to know in Wheeler, and then now look at you doing big things. I respect that for sure.
Yeah.
And then just keep grinding, man. Like, keep working. Don't give up. Work on your goals and don't stop till you achieve them for sure.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That is episode 7 of Hustlers Horizon podcast. Now, before we go, Josue, aka SwayCutz, I want you to let the people know, where can they find you on social media?
So my Instagram, TikTok, YouTube is usually SwayCutz, SwayCutz. You can easily find me there, and I've been documenting the journey on my YouTube. I've been documenting it all from before I got my license, building clientele, and then now I'm about to do a recap of
That's cool.
buying a barbershop now and going from here.
That's
So
dope,
it's-
man.
That's awesome, man.
Put it out there. We'll go out and check it out, man.
Yeah, we can't wait for it. If you guys, man, whoever's watching this and you watch this, April 14th, this month on the 14th, SwayCutz Purpose Barbershop is coming to Pampa, Texas. We are super excited. We're super happy for you. We're proud of you, man.
Yeah.
We admire everything you're doing. So again, thank you, lovely supporters who watch Hustlers Horizon podcast as we pick the brains of entrepreneurs. And today was a special one to talk to someone so young, doing so much. It's been a good one. But again, this is episode 7 of Hustlers Horizon podcast. I'm Derek.
I'm Pedro.
And this is
SwayCutz.
SwayCutz.
Let's go, man.
You guys stay tuned. Thank you.
Let's go.